but Matthew's paper really was about what we might want to do to make ourselves, how we might ethically edit ourselves for climate change, for example. So I'm really curious to hear where you take all of this.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of opportunities for this to solve big world problems. So one thing is the climate change. And there, I'll just use, sort of climate change is a really big problem. We don't really know how to solve it. But it turns out that we can use human engineering to help us address climate change. So I'll give two examples. Possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering. Another example is,
you go first.
Yeah, and another example is sort of, and here I'll go first, right? You'll see that I'm the smallest person here, right? And Amy's the smallest person. So it turns out that the larger you are, think of the lifetime sort of greenhouse gas emissions that are required to sort of, the energy that's required to transport larger people rather than smaller people, right? But if we're smaller, just by 15 centimeters, right? That's a mass, I did the math, and it's about mass reduction of 25%, which is huge. And 100 years ago, we were all on the average smaller, exactly about 15 centimeters smaller. Right? So think of just the, like lifetime greenhouse gas emissions if we had smaller children, right? And so that's something that we could do through some sort of human.
Could we, like setting aside, should we? Let's just set that
Sounds
aside.
like there's a Randy Newman song in here somewhere.
But I mean, is that the cut? Could we actually? Is that crazy? I'm going to ask Drew.
Well, how small should we go?
We shouldn't be so small that we get eaten by cats.